Could I start by thanking the returning officer and all the team who've been working here at the count and at the polling stations today. You make our democracy possible. I'd also like to thank the police who have ensured that we can conduct this ballot here in North Yorkshire, but also across the country in safety. On this difficult night, I'd like to express my gratitude to the people of the Richmond and Northallerton constituency for your continued support. Since I moved here a decade ago, you have made me and my family feel so at home, and I look forward to continuing to serve as your Member of Parliament. It is an enormous privilege. I'm grateful to my agent and constituency team, and I congratulate my opponents here on the energetic and very good-natured campaigns that they have run. The Labour Party has won this general election, and I have called Sir Keir Starmer to congratulate him on his victory. Today, power will change hands in a peaceful and orderly manner, with goodwill on all sides. That is something that should give us all confidence in our country's stability and future. The British people have delivered a sobering verdict tonight. There is much to learn and reflect on, and I take responsibility for the loss. To the many good, hard-working Conservative candidates who lost tonight, despite their tireless efforts, their local records of delivery, and their dedication to their communities, I am sorry. I will now head down to London, where I will say more about tonight's result before I leave the job of Prime Minister, to which I have given my all. I will then return here, to my family's home, and I look forward to spending more time with you all.
It's a sobering speech by Rishi Sunak, but it seems to confirm that he's not going to be running off to California any minute. He will complete, as he promised, his term as MP following this defeat which was in so many ways catapulted by his decision to go to the country at such a strange time, in the middle of Wimbledon, in the middle of the summer, and before there was any clear demonstration that any of his policies had worked. The working theory that I understand is that he called the election because Sir Graham Brady went to see him and said he was within a whisker of enough letters being presented to the 1922 committee to precipitate a vote of no confidence in his premiership, in his tenure as Prime Minister. And he was so the election was a way to duck that personal responsibility and that personal embarrassment. As such, it's become the embarrassment of the entire Conservative Party. And I don't know whether it would have been any less of a rout had he waited until November, but certainly this has been about as dramatic a disaster for any party in British politics, and it's ushered in the Labour Party at the end of a rump of self-obsessed, self-absorbed and self-righteous conservatism, and for what it matters, I don't think that Rishi Sunak is a bad man. I don't think that he is one of the pigs with his snout in the trough. But I think he is surrounded and has been surrounded by people of that caliber for too long, and he's relied too much on the excremental support of people like Suella Braverman and James Cleverly, Priti Patel, and the far right of the Conservative Party. If they take over the rump of the Conservative Party now in his absence, then it is a party doomed. If they link up with Reform, it is a party doomed. If they find a way back to the centre ground, then maybe they can recover. But certainly they have lost a huge swathe of support across the country. And I think when people start examining the way this election has gone, there will be a significant number of people who stayed away from the election because they simply were disenfranchised, because they simply lost their party. Their party has been hijacked by ideological twits, and that can happen. Of course, that can happen, and Rishi Sunak let it happen. Liz Truss let it happen. Boris let it happen. And people are saying, oh, no one's blaming Boris. That's what Nadine Dorries put out yesterday. Nadine Dorries is wrong. I blame Boris absolutely. The shit stops with him. And Boris, more than David Cameron, who didn't do his duty. David Cameron should have stayed on after the referendum. Theresa May, who is just loopy. And if she goes into the House of Lords, that's where she should have been the moment she conceded defeat. And that's where Rishi Sunak should be, frankly. But he has given his undertaking. He has given an undertaking to complete a term as a parliamentary MP representing his constituency, and that is a desire and is a promise that should be honoured. And then he should go into the House of Lords and be held responsible for the mess that he created.